I've been a fan of John Belushi for as long as I can remember. I don't really know how it started, but I remember watching the Blues Brothers. Love the family, I love his brother, I love his nephew. He's just a rare talent, and I just wish that he was able to continue on with the stuff that he loved to do, which was singing and acting and writing. This is the life and times of John Belushi. John was born on January 24th, 1949 in Chicago. He has two brothers, Billy and Jim, and a sister, Marion. His parents, Adam and Agnes, are Albanian. In 1967, John graduated high school where he was a captain of the football team, and that's where he first met Judith Jacqueline. In 1971, he joined the cast of Second City and began working with Harold Ramis and Brian Doyle Murray, who is the brother of Bill Murray. 1973, John was hired as a writer for the syndicated National Lampoon's Radio Hour, which became the National Lampoon Show in 1975. In 1974, he met Dan Aykroyd when he was in Toronto checking out the cast of the Second City that they have there. His high school friend Judith Jacqueline became an associate producer of the show. In 1975, John Belushi was recommended to Lorne Michaels to become a potential member of a show called Saturday Night Live. Lorne Michaels wasn't sure about John's physical humor, but changed his mind after he saw Belushi's audition. After 4 years on the show, John developed numerous characters, including the Blues Brothers with Dan Aykroyd. In 1976, John married Judith on December 31st. 1978, John appeared in the movie Going South. It was here that director John Landis noticed John and decided to cast him in his movie National Lampoon's Animal House. In 1979, John, alongside Dan Aykroyd, quit SNL to pursue other projects. That's the same year that he starred in Steven Spielberg's 1941, which bombed at the box office. In 1980, Aykroyd and John starred in the Blues Brothers. That same year, his drug use grew rapidly. Cocaine was popular in the 1970s, and it was John's drug of choice. He experimented with the drug when it was making its rounds, and he became addicted. Because of his addiction, he would go on binges, which would cause friction between him and Judith. In 1981, he starred in two movies, Continental Divide and Neighbors, which he also starred alongside his good friend Dan Aykroyd, which gave them a chance to reverse roles, with John playing a stray arrow family man whose life is turned upside down when a wild family man moves in next door. In January of 1982, John began working on a screenplay to be titled Noble Rot. He checked himself into a bungalow at the Chateau Marmont, a popular celebrity hotel in LA. John's drug use had been steadily increasing for over a year now, which alarmed his wife and friends, but he continued to promise Judy that he would quit someday. On March 5th, 1982, John Belushi was found dead at the Chateau Marmont. The cause of death was a lethal injection of cocaine and heroin. Several years later, John's drug-dealing, drug-use companion during his final weeks, Kathy Smith, was tried and sentenced to 3 years in prison for supplying John the drugs. John's close friend, James Taylor, sang That Lonesome Road at his memorial service at Martha's Vineyard Cemetery, where John was buried. Dan Aykroyd was actually writing Ghostbusters at the time of his death, and Bill Murray's part was originally written for Belushi. Aykroyd was the one that told his wife about his death. They were both in New York at the time. It's a shame and it's heartbreaking that John did what he did with drugs, and it's a shame that he died so young. But he did leave behind numerous characters and countless performances that will live on forever, and his humor and his ability to make people laugh will be in our hearts forever. He is missed by everyone that loved him and adored him. I wish he was here. I wish he had a longer time on earth than the 33 years that he got. In the end, he lived a life that was full of adventure and success. He wanted to do everything he could in the time he had on this earth. It's sad to know that he died the way that he did. He was well loved. He's well missed. May he rest in peace and have his memory live on forever.